Top of the morning to you. It's a great day. It's a little chilly out, but at least it isn't raining. This is the undersides of a Hallicrafter. It's an S-40A to be technically correct. And I've skinned it and got it out of its little case. And I've been working on it here this morning real quick. And like most radios, it needs a few... Well, not most, but many radios, it needs a few caps. Originally, I brought this up with the Variac rather slowly, and it ran for quite a while. The other day, it started kind of making these popping noises, which to me was kind of a clue that something was going awry. After about 10 minutes of popping, then it finally started buzzing loudly, and I knew I was going to have to do some work. Yeah. So I thought I would show you here what has happened. You can hear now it runs, fairly well. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the kludginess that I've put in there. I don't know if you can hear that or not. There's a little buzz. We'll open this one up. And we'll open this one up here. That was the noise I was getting when the caps failed and thing. One of the things that happened too, there was kind of a weird, about a tenth of a second after the buzzing started, I got this weird sizzling noise. And what was interesting about that was I temporarily hooked some caps up like I did here just to see if that was what was really wrong. And it didn't really go away. The noise kind of remained. So just for fun, I took the output tube out, and the noise was still there, which gave me a big clue that something was amiss. Anyway, this cap, this paper cap on the plate of the output tube, it uses a 6F6, which is kind of a cousin or brother to the the 6L6 and a 6F, or excuse me, and a 6V6. Had shorted, and it was kind of leaking badly, making it hum, making things worse. So I clipped that out of circuit, and I'm going to restuff that body of that one. I've got another video that shows that. It's literally less than 10 minutes. It takes 10 minutes. Anyway, this is a pretty nice little radio. I got this at a garage sale for $2. And even if it didn't work, it was still worth a couple bucks. There's plenty of good knobs. I'm not going to turn it around right this second. One of the things I started doing this year is I've started bagging up all the parts, and I usually slip a piece of cardboard in there. One of the reasons is there's a lot of tags that come off these radios when you start working, and I don't want those tags to get squished. And the sealed bags kind of help keep the parts together. I also put the bad parts in there too, unless they're too big for the bag. Some notes go in there, and then if I sell the radio or get rid of it or trade it or aliens probe it, then the next owner knows kind of what happened and what went on. I kind of like to put new capacitors in old bodies to give it that look, which on this one isn't really great. And it helps the next person know what's going on, what repairs have been transpired. One of the things I noticed about this radio is this resistor. Now that one's been replaced, but this one up here is really burned up. And actually, I don't know if you can see that or not. Right, if you look very carefully, right there, right behind that little drop, See that line, that vertical line? That actually is a crack. If I reached in there, I could pull that resistor apart. It's no good. That's actually part of the automatic volume control circuit from what I've determined. One of the good scores about this radio was that I got hold of a little, I suppose it helps if you zoom out, I got hold of a little external S meter for it, which is kind of cool. This is an SM40, and it's got a huge 5-pin plug. It plugs in the back right here. It's the same tube socket base as like the 807 tube. So I've got it up and running. I noticed a couple other things too. I stumbled onto an interesting intermittent. I'm not sure what that's about. I don't know if that cap is electrically intermittent or the resistor. It kind of goes to a tube socket pin here. It goes over to a little terminal strip and then goes on down to another to a resistor to another socket. And there's a wire that trails off. It looks like it might go to the IF coil or one of them. Not sure what that's about. I'll have to do a little investigating. I did find a drawing or a schematic on this radio, but it was a little tough. There's a number of different versions of this, and it makes it a little annoying to figure out which version is which. And I've actually got another one of these that I restored. Let me take you around back here. I don't know, there's not a lot to see. Maybe I can carefully scooch it without blowing it up. It's not bad. It's got a number of tubes, and it's pretty basic communications kind of all-band radio. It's not one of the great all-band radios, but it's not a beater either. There's a jack. Somebody has hacked that into it. That jack was never from the factory. There's also a kind of an accessory jack here, which is, interestingly enough, missing the... There's a jumper plug that goes in there that kind of had me scratching my head for about 10 minutes. I didn't have any high voltage, and I didn't have any filaments, although you could hear the transformer fired up and stuff, and I was getting voltage out of it. I assume that that is some sort of external accessory. There may have been a... This might have been a, good enough for a small ham novice or somebody like that. And they may have had an external circuit to mute the receiver or do something with it. Anyway, you'll probably be seeing more of this later. I'm going to kind of tinker around with it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. Take her easy. Have a good day.